Today, in the couplet of Kabira, I am going to describe about the couplet related to ego and identity. So, how we are affected by our identity and how we are losing the main thing of life. That means we are losing our God when we are affected by our identity. The couplet is जब मैं था तब हरि नहीं, अब हरि है मैं नहीं। जब मैं था तब हरि नहीं, अब हरि है मैं नहीं। सब अंधियारा मिट गया, दीपक देखा माही कबीरा, दीपक देखा माही। जब मैं था तब हरि नहीं, अब हरि है मैं नहीं। जब मैं था तब हरि नहीं, अब हरि है मैं नहीं। सब अंधियारा मिट गया, दीपक देखा माही रे साधु, दीपक देखा माही। In the couplet, Kabir wants to say about the identity, about the ego, which 99% of the person are affected by. In the modern era, we can't imagine the life without ego. That means, okay, when I say we can't imagine life without ego, that doesn't mean, okay, ego is, we have the idea that we are affected by ego. Actually, we don't have the idea. But if you will observe in the day-to-day life, okay, so then you can realize that how you are affected by your ego. If anybody says something to you and hurts you, okay, at the time, how are you reacting in that situation, or are you responding that situation? You have to observe it in the day-to-day life. Every moment, if you observe, then you can find how we are affected by our identity and ego. Identity means, okay, we are related to our body and we think that I am the body. Actually, when we will go to spiritual concept, then we should realize that we are not the body and we are not also the mind. So, actually, who am I is the question of the spirituality. So, Kabir Sahib clearly said that if you are related, if you are affected by the ego, then you are not going to get your God. Hari means your God. Because identity and your God cannot remain in one place. So you have to either you have to eradicate your identity, then you can get your God. जब मैं था, मैं का मतलब माई ईगो, अहम। जब मैं था तब हरि नहीं, तब there was no God in my life. But when the God appeared in my life, there is not the I. That means तब मैं नहीं, अब हरि है तब मैं नहीं. That means at that time I am not available when God is there. I means here the ego. So when God comes to my life, सब अंधियारा मिट गया. That means there is only light. There is no darkness in my life, and I saw the lights. सब अंधियारा मिट गया, दीपक देखा मैं. That means I saw the lights when I eradicate my ego, my identity. So how can you eradicate your identity? In the modern era, we are always in a hurry to gather things, to accumulate things, and also we think that okay, without the material we cannot exist. So in some cases, okay, yes, material things are required, but excess requirement is not a compulsive way. That means we should gather that much thing which is required for our basic needs. So if we will always identify those things and identify the materialistic things with us, then we will be far away from the light. We cannot get there. Okay, we may treat that okay, we are developing, we are getting something in our life, but that is not possible. Okay, so we have to, how can we eradicate our identity, our ego? First thing is we have to observe ourselves every day. Awareness is the main thing to be exercised. That means you should always be aware that when the ego is affecting you, and at that time you have to respond accordingly, and that will be a habit. Day by day you can realize that yes, you are developing in the spiritual path, and your ego is day by day is decreasing. So in that way you can eradicate your ego and get your hurry, get God's grace you can get. So that is the couplet. Thank you for watching.